I should get music up. Save this and close it. Close that. And close that. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? We are doing good, bees. And hello, Ranger. How you doing? Today is going to be a more laid back and more fun, creative stream. What's this? Dova, we are going to talk about how to make your own Space Marine chapter for Space Marine 2. Ooh, so that way, like, you guys can have some creative ideas in case Space Marine 2 gets you so into 40k that you want to try the tabletop game. Or some version of it. That's what we're doing tonight. Because I have a lot of people in the comments of my TikToks now. I'm building a Tyranid. Well, this can apply to you too, so don't stress yourself about it. Have some fun. Yeah, we're just gonna wait a little bit before we get started. Just let people come in naturally and just come and chill. I did do something very fun today. I am a Tau main, but I've been meaning to move to custom Space Marine chapters. Oh, you could do something very fun with that. You could do something very fun with your leftover Tau bits. So, I finished painting another 1000 Sun today. I'm going to show you all what it is. I guess we gotta go to Twitter. Ugh, Twitter. Anyway. So, I painted up another Space Marine. Well, another 1000 Sun. And this is my 1000 Suns rubric sorceress, who is based off a friend of the channel named Lynn. She is the person that did she's the person that did the thumbnail art for my Halo Reach video. Would an Orc Marine be heresy? It would be, but we can still have fun with it. Can't wait to get more ideas on making more chapters. I already have a couple with 2 that have decent lore for them. Awesome. I'm magnetizing a Tyrannofex and Tervagon. Nice. But yeah, so this is how my model started. All red. Originally, my army was silver and brass and blue. But I got tired of that color scheme, and it was a really bad rush job. So I stripped all the paint and started over. And this model actually had its arm broke, like its staff broke. So I had to redo the whole thing. But my friend Lynn was going through a hard time as well, so I wanted to base this model off of her. So I redid the model, gave it a new arm and everything, and then we slowly painted her up. And this was the process of going through it. You can see where the colors are coming out. Fun fact, these are not the same color. This is Screaming Skull. This is Flayed One Flesh. Are those colors. But you can see, like, what I'm doing. We got black, we got Blade 1 Flesh, we got Warpstone green, and a mint green in there. Same over here with the feathers. The arm is a Necron green, along with a Lothorian Guard blue. But this was the end point of that. And I'm very happy how this model came out. And Lynn was extremely happy. So happy that she shared the post, actually. Look at my mini-me. I am a daughter of Magnus now. I'm glad that I could make you smile, Lynn. I'm very glad that this made you happy. But we are here for everyone else. We are here to teach how does one make their own 40k chapter or army. Like, do I have to follow the fluff 100%? The answer is no. So, something that I want everyone to understand when coming into Warhammer 40k. It is a sandbox. It is a sandbox. It has its background with all of its fluff, but that is to give you a starting point to build your army, to build your characters however you want. That is the point. It's a massive galaxy. It is a galaxy-wide story. You aren't going to get everywhere. Just got my first 3D printing commission and started my Consecrator's army with my custom captain. Nice! Good job, Nameless. But yeah, the entire point of the tabletop game is to let your army, play it out. And here's the thing. Yes, we know that, like, in the fluff, there's like the most famous Space Marine companies, the second company, the third company, the fourth company, the first company, whatever. We know that their colors are like blue and white for the first, blue and gold for the second. But guess what? Your group could have been out on campaign for months or years, and things could have changed. Cato Sicarius was out of action for a couple of years. Or so, like, maybe your second company is led by a different guy for a bit. But then, like, when Cato Sicarius came back, he was relegated to a force commander role within the chapter. So, like, he takes over command for other officers who are indisposed. You have tons of options to do whatever you want. However you want. Colors, your fluff for your army, everything. I am currently rebuilding my fluff for my 1,000 Suns, because I based them off the Blood Ravens. Hey, Epion, thanks for the follow. But yeah, like, I'm currently reworking that fluff, because 1,000 Suns and Blood Ravens have massive connections. It's very hinted at that they are from the same gene seed. And I really like that. Even if it isn't true, because it's hinted, it's not outwardly stated. Even if that's bogus, I like the connection. I like the Blood Raven's color scheme. So I am painting my 1,000 Suns to represent that connection. And even if it comes out that they aren't, I don't give a shit. You think Tzeentch won't fuck with people? But yeah, so for those who want a fluffy way of making their stuff close to the fluff as possible, this is for you. And for anyone else, it's to give you ideas on what you can do. But I want to preface this again. You are not limited by the canon of the fluff. The game says do whatever the fuck you want. You could have a guard regiment that's based solely off of, like, survivors of Cadia, and that they're running a guerrilla campaign against the forces of chaos that are flooding through their area. Or you could have an entire Tau Empire battalion that found Metallica. Like, they found old records of Metallica and have started rocking the fuck out. So, yeah, like, do whatever the fuck you please. So, we're going to start. Sorry if you answered this question, but you excited for Space Marine 2? I am excited, but I'm keeping my expectations relatively in the middle. I am excited, do not get me wrong, but I do not want to overhype myself. I do not want to overhype myself. I do not want to get caught up in the hype and be disappointed. I want to go into it as fair as possible. Because you got to remember, this is a sequel to a 13-year-old game. And it could crash and burn. So, hence why I'm keeping myself perfectly neutral. And we will see what happens when it comes out early on the 5th. Because I get to play it on the 5th. But let's get into it. Let's get into how do we make our own Space Marine chapter and other 40k armies. Ignoring hype and just theorizing which two factions do you think they will add if they follow that map? I don't know. Space Marine 2 looks solid. The first one was surprisingly fun. It was, but it wasn't doing anything that other hack and slashers weren't doing. What do you think of the Tau? What do you think of my Tau color scheme, Perry the Platypus? What kind of fire warrior are you? A platypus fire warrior? Perry the Platypus fire warrior? Perry the Platypus! That's funny. Okay. So, ignore the ad in the corner. So, there are 20 original legions that your Space Marine chapter can hail from. And I think 29 foundings? I went with Consecrators for Dark Angels, mainly because they have so little lore on them. Besides, they hoard Heresy era weaponry. Yeah, they're fun. So, when you are building your chapter, you can decide if you want your chapter to hail from one or more of one of the original 20 legions. Or, you don't have to say where they came from. You do not have to say where these guys hailed from. The Blood Ravens don't know where they hail from. The Mentors don't know where they hailed from. You do not have to be limited by which legion you hail from, but it can help if you want some guidelines for what your guys would be like. Does it have a list? Does this have a list? Ooh. Space Marine chapters list. Thank you. Oh no, this is a whole... Oh god! Lexicanum! Oh shit! Yeah, look at that. Look at those chapters. Holy shit. That's funny. Okay, here we are. This is better. Holy shit, that's a lot. Ah, so many fucking ads. I don't have an ad blocker. Anyway. So, where does your chapter hail from? Or does it not know where it hails from? What founding did it come from? Was it an unknown founding? Like, this chapter was founded outside of regular protocol for a purpose? Or was it a part of one of the massive foundings and just got lost in the shuffle? Was it a part of the second founding They said they gave a concrete number, but not enough names to match that number because they never got around to it. So, like, where does your guy... So, like, what are your guys like? Where do they come from? Or do they not know? You can easily have them be from anywhere. You could have them as chimeras kind of a thing, where they have, like, multiple gene seed sources. It's very much implied, well, not implied anymore, just outright stated, that the Ultramarine subchapter known as the Silver Skulls are actually Iron Warriors. Yeah. The Silver Skulls are Iron Warriors that stayed loyal and joined the Ultramarines, and Gulliman swept their original origins under the rug because they were loyal and they didn't deserve to be purged. Good man that Gulliman is. It's a shame he works for an evil empire. Okay. But once you have decided said founding, the next thing you're going to want to figure out is what do they do? What are they doing? How do they recruit people? Where do they start? What's their starting area? Are they a homeworld chapter? Do they come from a homeworld? And what kind of homeworld is it? Is it a hive world? Like a world that's just nothing but civilians that go from day to day and the Marines stalk everywhere looking for recruits? Is it a tribal world where the people's population has barely gotten to the Bronze Age and the Marines recruit strong-looking aspirants because they believe that they will survive the trials to become a Space Marine? Are they... I'm sorry, I also woke up from a nap, so my brain is coming back online. That's why we have coffee. I'm not sleeping tonight. Anyway. Maybe they don't just recruit from one world. Maybe they have a dominion. The Blood Ravens have the entire Aurelian subsector to recruit from, which is now just 2 planets. Question for the Lord Announcers. I've seen a lot of people complain about the creation of custom 11th and 2nd Primarchs for custom chapters. What are your opinions on the subject? Why not? Why can't they do it? The 2nd and 11th Legions are literally there for that. It is literally described by the writers of GW that the 2nd and 11th Legions are there for a creative outlet. That you can do whatever the fuck you want. Literally. You can make the 2nd and 11th Primarch whatever the hell you want. You can make their legions whatever the hell you want. Yeah, we've had hints about what happened to them, but those are hints from very unreliable narrators. Officially is it Ultramarines, but secretly Sons of Horror. Ooh, Hammock, I like your thinking. That's actually pretty cool. But yeah, like, if you use the 2nd and 11th Legions and you make your own chapter and you use, like, Gulliman or Lionel Johnson, why the fuck not? Why not? Go ahead and do it. My 1,000 Sons don't have Magnus. They summon what they think is Magnus to the field. That was my army's fluff. Because they do not believe the Magnus the Red that leads the 1,000 Sons is Magnus the Red. They believe it's an imposter. So, like, do what you want. I made a Primaris Space Wolf successor that has a feudal world as their home world, and their founding was co-opted by the Inquisition during the Ultima founding. Ooh. Mine recruit from a night world that has been lost due to the warp and have no transportation. Oh, nice. Nice. But yeah, so maybe your chapter recruits from a multitude of worlds and gets like a really strange menagerie of different kinds of minded people inside their chapter. The Blood Ravens had that. They recruited people from a desert planet, a jungle planet, and a hive world. And they had totally different outlooks on life. It was truly like a melting pot of individuals. Or Maybe your chapter doesn't have a homeworld. And how they recruit is that when they go on crusade, when they find civilizations, they just kind of pick people up and drag them along with them. So like they conquer a planet and then take all the young children from their families and then just like throw them in a pit and say, first 50 to crawl out of there wins. First 50 or like first 100. And those 100s continue. Then that 100 group of recruits goes on to the next challenge. And then it's whittled down to like there's like 20 of them left. And then those 20 become Space Marines. And that's like how they recruit. Which is very fun. Very interesting. Again, I'm sorry, I'm like really slow. What are your ideas for Gene Seed flaws? I had an idea called White Sorrow. Everyone looks like. I'm gonna wait for that. Gene Seed flaws can make your chapter more interesting. Sanguinius. Oh, there we go. Sanguinius, and they feel Horus's pain in the end. Oh, interesting. Gene Seed flaws are interesting. And they don't have to be just like, oh, it's a negative effect. Well, like, a negative effect like turning into a Wolfen or the Red Thirst, the Black Rage. It doesn't have to be that. But it can be if you want it to be. I remember one where this was a custom-made chapter. And that this chapter literally had a gene seed malfunction that made them not able to sleep. Like, their ability to go into, like, REM sleep just wasn't possible for them. So, like, they could close their eyes, they could rest their head, like, rest themselves, they could meditate, but you need to turn off your brain eventually. And, yeah, no, the chapter still serves, but, like, they're not okay. They're very paranoid. I thought that was interesting. But, like, a gene, it doesn't have to be, like, necessarily, like, something is wrong. It could be, like, they're missing stuff. The Imperial Fists are a notable chapter where they can't spit acid. Spitting acid is part of, like, what a Space Marine can do. But Imperial Fists just can't do it. They don't have the glands. Something happened. But, for, like, a chapter like the Raven Guard, they have a genetic mutation that makes their skin get paler. Now, that doesn't mean, like, everyone becomes, like, bleach white. It just means, like, their skin becomes a more, like, light faded color. And their eyes, like, their irises go completely midnight black. Like, the center of their pupil, like, expands out. It's really cool. The Salamanders, they... Okay, so, like, this is something else that, like, a lot of people get wrong. The Salamanders are not, like... How do I say this? How do I say this? How do I say this without, like, coming off like a dick? The people of Nocturne, where the Salamanders hail from, have been affected by generations of being stuck on an ash-ridden, radiated hellscape. That their skin is literally coal black. They are literally coal black, with red eyes. That is just how the people of Nocturne are. People think like, oh, like they have brown skin. No, they are literally coal black. But that is something to the people of Nocturne. That is something that is in Nocturians. Not any subchapter that comes out of the Salamanders. Because we've had Primaris Marines, and they are not coal black. And it is said by the Salamanders that that is a unique trait to the Nocturian people. So, like... Yeah, no, they, Jesus. So if anybody comes at you that says we already had black people as salamanders, tell them to shut the fuck up. Anyway, your gene seed flaw could be anything. It could be like you're missing a special organ that normal Space Marines have. Or you're missing Orama. When implemented with the gene seed, it overworks something. Or it has a personality. It gives your Marines a negative personality quirk. Your Marines can literally be flawed. They're not perfect. They were a rush job. Like, yeah, like, people are like, oh, Thunder Warriors, they were the rush job. No, Space Marines were also the rush job. The Emperor was like, yes, I will take time perfecting this craft and making cheaper and much more flexible custodes. And then his wife came in and said, hey, I shotgunned the kids out into space. Fuck you. And then she left. That's not what happened. That's not exactly what happened. But, yeah, no, he went into a rush job after that. Yeah, Celestial Lions are African-inspired chapter. Yeah, your chapter could have flaws. Could have flaws anywhere. But now we're getting into the fun parts. Oh, that wasn't the fun parts announcer? Oh, we're getting to the fun parts. How does your chapter organize itself? This is the standard chapter organization based off of the Codex Astartes that a lot of chapters were based around until Gilliman came back, took his book, threw it in the garbage, and said, y'all are fucking stupid for thinking this was a Bible. So, the standard way of how Space Marine chapters were built was 1,000 individual strong chapters with their own armory, reclusium, apothecarion, and librarius and their chapter command, along with 10 companies. Your chapter could follow this to the letter. Or your chapter could say, this is fucking stupid. Plenty of chapters have said, this is fucking stupid. But plenty of chapters have said, this is the greatest organizational chart I've seen in my life. Basically, the idea is that your 10th company holds all your scouts, all your recruits. Where your Space Marine journey begins is the 10th company. And then, once you are promoted from the 10th company, you move into the 9th company. You are taught the ways of being an assault marine. Oh wait, no, this is the Devastator one, right? I can't remember which one. Well, either way, the 8th and 9th companies basically teach you the different ways of conducting war. Whether it be being an assault marine or a Devastator marine. You are taught the ways of war that isn't just a bolt gun and a sniper rifle. You are taught how to use your jetpack, how to be flexible in battle, while also being taught how to use heavy weapons such as the Lascan, the Plasma Cannon, so on and so forth. Or with the new Primaris Marines, you're taught how to use Hellblasters, etc., etc. The 7th, 6th, and 5th company, the 7th and 6th company are reserve companies. I.e., these guys come in and hold the line while these guys over here do the heavy lifting. So basically like cleanup squads. Then you got the 4 battle companies, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. After you are done your training in the 8th, 9th, and 8th, and after you have done some service within the 7th or 6th, you are then brought into one of these 4 companies. You will then begin your work as a Marine and rising through the ranks. Thanks. Either to become part of the command squad or eventually, maybe, you know, finally getting into the 1st company. Maybe you have distinct veteran status and they need to replace a veteran and they chose you as the replacement. Pretty cool. You get access to Terminator armor in the 1st company. Ooh, good stuff. But what if I didn't want to be a part of the standard company formations? What if I wanted to go into one of these groups over here? The Librarius, the Apothecarion, the Reclusium, and the Armory. Well, during your 10th company days, you can take interest in one of these 3. You have to be a Psyker to be a Librarian. If you are a Psyker, you just get thrown in there. You don't get a choice. Get in the fucking Librarium, Shinji. So if you're a psyker, sorry, you're stuck in the librarius. Based on this idea. But maybe you took a more interest in medicines and want to help the apothecarion. So you are brought into the apothecarion and you are taught how to become a company apothecary. Or even someday become the chief apothecary. Maybe you're more religiously fanatical than your other company brothers during your times through the companies, and then you're brought into the Reclusium and trained to be a chaplain. Or maybe you have a more interest in machines and the chapter really needs more tech marines. So they, instead of being trained with your fellow brothers inside the 10th, 9th, 8th, whatever, you are then shipped off to Mars along with a ton of other recruits from other chapters. And you're all taught on Mars how to be a tech marine and how to take care of all the armories and everything. And then when you're sent back as a fully fledged tech marine. Your chapter command, of course, is where you're like your chapter master and all your captains hang out. This is, including your honor guard. This is like where all that is. And as well, all of your companies are color coordinated. So like first is white, second is gold, third is red, fourth is green, fifth is black, sixth is orange, seventh is purple, eighth is gray, ninth is blue, 10th company doesn't have a color. They're just the chapter color. That's how they designate them. But, as I said, your chapter does not have to follow this. Some chapters look at this and go, that's stupid, that's lame, I think that's cringe. Or they just think this is not very robust or very flexible with what you need. Or maybe your chapter has suffered so much damage over the years, they literally can't do this. Or maybe your chapter decides, like, only having 5 companies that basically combine all aspects of the others is a good idea. So, like, your first and second are, like, your most veteran and elite, but it's just your first company. So, like, 200 Marines here, 200 Marines there, 200 Marines here, etc., etc. Maybe your chapter doesn't have a librarius. Maybe they don't believe in, like, psychers and everything. Or, you don't field apothecaries. You just have the chief apothecary. You can literally do whatever you want with this structure. Maybe you don't have chaplains. Maybe your chapter does not believe in the Imperial religion, but still believes in the Imperium, but you don't like the priesthood. So you have neglected having a religious institution within your chapter. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again. But then it comes down to, what colors do you want? Now, your Marines can have any damn colors they want. You are not limited by the colors given to you. You can do whatever the fuck you please. You want Ultramarines, you can paint your guys Ultramarines. You want Dark Angels, you can paint your guys Dark Angels. You want your Marines to be fucking Metallica? Go right ahead. Get that black, red, and metal in there. You want your Marines to be gay as fuck? You want your Marines to be pride flavored? By God, go for the pride. Bees. You want bees? You want bees? Get that yellow, get that black, get that tryptophobia in check. Do whatever you want. This Marine, these models are a canvas of varying sizes. By the way, just a helpful tip. If you are painting more complicated models, I recommend the strategy of build as you paint. Because sometimes, I'm just gonna get my Arimon model up here. Sorry, just gonna get my my Arimon up here. Sometimes, you know, some models are really painful to fucking paint. So it's best to paint as you fucking go. And no, I am nowhere near like the best of the best painter. I am nowhere close. I will never say that I am. And I am my own worst critic. Everyone's like, this looks awesome. Like, whoever I've shown this, they say this looks awesome, this looks great, and my brain's just going, I don't know, I feel like I did something wrong. But, anyway. So yeah, you can paint your Marines however you want. They could be one solid color and then have like small details, like you paint the trim a different color and that's it. That's what Blood Angels do. Or you could have chapters where like one side is one color, one side's the other. Or you could have like one side's this color and this side's the same color and this side's a different color and this side's a different color. You can do whatever the hell you want. Spiky, thanks for the sub. But what I heavily recommend, if you are going to paint your army, learn color theory. What the fuck is color theory? This is color theory. This is color theory. Every color has a contrast, a complement, and a primary. Yellow, red, and blue are the primary colors. Secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. Tertiary is everything else. And every color bounces off each other. If they are directly opposite, they're complements to one another, i.e., they help the other pop. And then you got your hot colors, yellow to red, and you got your colder colors, purple to green. All of these colors, when you learn how color theory works, your brain explodes. You become a supercomputer. You become like fucking Picasso real fucking quick. You understand what colors work together and how to make these colors work together. It is one of the fundamental ways of learning how to paint. And I know a lot of people struggle with their artist's eye, essentially, but that is a really good, helpful way for you to learn how to paint. But yeah, like, oh, I want my chapter to be like, I want more like a faded, I want like a more icy look. So you choose like a more colder, brighter color, like this, and you get like that kind of color. Also, there's a subjective color wheel of cyan, magenta, and yellow. Yes! There is that one, too. Be aware of them. Maybe you want, like, your chapter color scheme to be, like, blue, and then, like, an ice blue, but, you want your company denotation to be, like, oh, my first company uses purple. Now, this thing sucks for a Space Marine painter, but it is good for, like, you know, planning out what you want. So, like, maybe you don't want, like, that dark of a purple. You want it to more match with the blue in paleness. That looks a lot better. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want your chapter to, like, reference another Legion. Maybe you want to have those colors reference each other, you know? That kind of thing. Bolter and Shadesword, paint your own Space Marine. It's just an example. But yeah, you can paint your Marines however you want. They could choose the colors of, like, their home world. So, like, it could be, like, a jungle planet. So they got, like, a dark green, and, like, their base color, and, like, their detail colors are, like, deep brown. So you got a green to brown, or whatever the fuck you want. Literally, anything you want. Your Marine chapter does not have to be like any of the original Legions. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They are your chapter. They are your sub-chapter. Do whatever the fuck you please. Next, how does your chapter fight? How does your chapter choose to go into battle swinging? Are they more of a sneaky chapter? Maybe they hail from the Raven Guard and they're just very sneaky. Or maybe they just, they're a chapter that learned that being sneaky was the best way to go about things. You never know. Maybe your chapter fucking hates the idea of going into battle without armored support. So your chapter loves tanks. Absolutely loves them. Loves them. And that can even build off, your tactics can build off of further things. Maybe you're friends with Mechanicum and that's why you love tanks. Maybe, maybe your chapter suffered such a horrible defeat that they're scared to go into battle without tanks supporting them. It's entirely optional. Loyalist Alpha Legion, can I do that? Yes. Again, it's 40k. It literally says you can do anything you want. I remember seeing this quote somewhere. Where is it? Son of a bitch, I can't find it. Anyway. So yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want with your tactics. Base it off of whatever you want. Could Loyalist Night Lords exist, or would that go again? Craig. You can do whatever you want, buddy. You can do whatever you want. Yes, you can have Loyalist Night Lords. There were Loyalist Night Lords. You can do whatever you want. However you want. Again, I'm going to remind everybody, because I know a few people are going to come in here late. I'm probably going to have to repeat this multiple times. Your force, your Space Marine chapter, your Imperial Guard regiment, whatever the fuck, can be anything you want them to be. You are not limited. You can have Loyalist Night Lords. You can have Loyalist Emperor's Children. Fuck, they already did it. Like, look here. We have a new Primaris chapter. Sons of the Phoenix. Battle cry. From the fires of war we rise. Primogenerator. Rogel Dorn. Faithful to the Emperor and ritualistic in their battle cant, the Sons of the Phoenix pride themselves on plunging into the flames of battle. Their crusades are so impressive in spectacle, they pave the way for the Imperial Creed to spread, and hence are followed by a great many holy men and women. Those colors are looking very familiar. Sons of the Phoenix, eh? Man, I wonder if there was a Primarch known as the Phoenician. And this is one of those mysterious founding chapters that Call was vague on. I wonder who they could be. Interesting, right? Again, your Marines can come from anywhere. GNC is 50-50 between Iron Hands and Iron Warriors. Your thoughts, Impossible chapter. Tons of Shattered Legions existed with Iron Hands running around, and they could have teamed up with Iron Warriors. They kind of had the same ideas mentally. My chapter's like that. Awesome. Who have been working with Xenos secretly since the days of... Why not? So what qualifies as a chimeric chapter? A chimeric chapter is a chapter made of not one, but multiple gene seeds. 1, 2, or 3. So, like, the Astro Claws were heavily hinted to be a chimeric chapter. A mix of Ultramarines and Dark Angels. Which explains why they were so dogmatically loyal, because of Ultramarines. But it also explains why they were very paranoid. Dark Angels. Are there any OC species in 40k? Plenty. plenty of OC species. They just technically don't have rules. Unless you're like playing Dark Eldar and Tau, and you wanted a flavor that wasn't Kroot. But you can do practically whatever you want. My head is now spinning with ideas, bruh. I'm filling your head with knowledge! But yeah, since Space Marine 2 is coming out, and they're allowing you, again, to customize your own Space Marine, i.e. you don't have to be Dark Angel, you don't have to be Space Wolf, you don't have to be Blood Angel, you do not have to be Black Templar, you can be your own Space Marine. I don't know how the character editor will work, but hopefully it is like Space Marine 1's character creator, because that was actually a fairly decent character creator. I bet they will let you have a lot more options when building your own Space Marine, but we'll go from there. I'm painting up and playing my Space Marines as the Crusaders chapter. Check them out. There's going to be like a lot of Crusader chapters. Oh, I'm an idiot. Crusaders. The Crusaders chapter wears a quartered powder of red and white on their power armor. Chapter badge, okay. Iron Crusaders. Not a lot on them. I'm hoping they add a Terminator class in the future. I don't, because they got the Maximus armor in there. Plus, how would you balance Terminator armor? That's kind of the problem here, is like, how do you balance Terminator armor? Their Chaos Lord used to be a chaplain. Okay, but like, we also have Chaos Space Marines coming in the multiplayer. So the same logic applies for Chaos Space Marines. Hi, boss. Lurking while playing Magic with friends. Nice. Red and white with the Imperial I do there, just ported in Knights Templar. Nice. The only way I see Terminator armor making it is the Juggernaut MP mode. Probably. But yeah, your Chaos Warband can be the same, can have the same principles as a Space Marine chapter. They can hail from one of the original 20 legions. They can pop out of the fucking nowhere. They could be loyalists that went traitor during the Horus Heresy. Or they could pop up at any time during the events of after the Horus Heresy and even into modern 40k. They can pop up literally anywhere at any time. Any chapter has a good reason for, going the path of the renegade. I just discovered you. I'm a big 40k fan. Love your content. Aw, thank you. If you want more, we will be streaming more 40k stuff here on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you want to go sub to those, big help. But yeah, your Chaos Warbands can literally be anywhere. They can have a multitude of reasons for betraying the Imperium. Or maybe they're so sick in the fucking head that they think they're still serving the Imperium. But, like, they're burning everywhere because they think, like, skulls for the Skull Throne. Blood for the Emperor! Kind of a thing. Drop the YouTube link? Can I do that? One sec. Trying to see if I can do this. Will TikTok let me? Will it let me? You'll have to copy and paste that link. Anyway. Otherwise, just go into my channel on my TikTok, and there's the link. But yeah, your group, your warband, can have any reason for going traitor. They can feel like, they could be like one of the original parts of the Traitor Legions that split off and became their own warband. Or, maybe they were a Space Marine chapter that was slighted by the Imperium, and they blame everyone else for what happened to them. Or maybe something so horrific happened that they fell to Chaos because they felt like they had no other choice. Maybe they were tricked into following Chaos. There is a small little stub of a story within one of the Chaos Codexes where a chapter was suffering from a warp storm. Like, a warp storm had corrupted their planet, and their chaplaincy had been long since corrupted, and those chaplains tricked their fellow brothers into a ritual. Ah, Rob, thanks for what's up. Tricked their Marines into a ritual that got them possessed, and they became a renegade, Chaos Space Marine Legion from there. My Black Legion came from the 13th Company of the Sons of Horus. There's no lore for that company. Yeah! Tons of companies get named, and tons of numbers get dropped, but there's nothing on them. Soul Drinkers went rogue too. Yes! And just to note, Chaos Space Marines do not have to serve the powers of Chaos. We call them Chaos Space Marines, but that's just an in general representation. They do not have to be loyal to Chaos. The Iron Warriors and the Night Lords, they're not loyal to Chaos. They're loyal to themselves. In fact, in the Iron Warriors, if you do give in to Chaos corruption, they think you're weak. For the Night Lords, it's the same way. Oh, you weren't strong enough that you had to give yourself to corruption? Garbage. Trash. Alpha Legion, we don't know what's going on with them. We don't know what's going on with them. They're weird. They're strange. Strange lads. But yeah, your warband could literally be anything you want it to be. I actually have a Chaos Mistress. I actually custom made my own Chaos Mistress. That build's illegal now because the fucking Chaos Lord can't have a Kami Melted, which pisses me off. Anyway. But yeah, I have my own Chaos Mistress for my Chaos Warband. And, like, she joined them, and she's so fanatically loyal to Abaddon and everything that her charisma and everything just makes warriors want to follow her into battle. And, like, she is a servant of Khorne, too. So, like... But yeah, like, or maybe your warband popped out of nowhere. We have a warband known as the Cleaved that no one knows their origins, but Chaos Cults summon them in their desperate hour. And these Marines that leak oil and feel no pain march out to war from a summoned rune. I'm just starting my painting journey. I'm starting with Black Templar device. Take your time with the white. Thin your paints. Thin your goddamn paints. Whether that be like dry brushing it, which is like getting a paper towel or a what the hell is that thing, like the painting thing. I don't remember what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the thing where it's just like you store your paints. You just do like that. Or thinning your paints by like dipping them in water a little bit. White can be a nightmare to work with. It requires multiple layers and patience. Take your time and don't be afraid. And if one paint jumps onto another, don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. It's gonna happen. It's a happy little accident. You can just paint over it. You can just paint over it. Don't stress over tiny mistakes. It's gonna happen. Like, God, I can show it again. I can show my Arimon model and I can show you the mistakes. Just gonna... Where is it? Go over here, Arimon. Go over here, you little bastard. We're opening up the photo thing. All right. Boom. So I'm going to show you. I paint decent, but I am not perfect, and neither are you. Do not compare yourself to me. Do not compare yourself to the professional painters at GW. That is another #1 mistake that so many fucking people make. Do not do that to yourself. You are you. Your painting will start out as garbage, but you will get better and better over time. Like, look at this. I zoom in. You could see that a little bit of the brown from the belt here is touching this. Now, this is a small little mistake. Most people aren't going to see that. But you see it, and it's going to drive you fucking nuts. You see that? It's driving me fucking nuts right now. You can see that there's a little bit of red coming out of here because I primed this motherfucker red. It's driving me nuts that I can see that red there. But guess what? Most people ain't gonna see that. They're not gonna give a shit. They're looking at everything else. And then you see, like, how this little fucking charm here, this little fucking charm, the red is kind of spilling out into the silver, and then that silver is spilling out into the blue beads. God damn, I'm gonna go insane. Hey, but you are not perfect. Neither am I. Do not get discouraged. Keep practicing. Keep learning. You will get better. You will get better. And learn that you can always paint over your mistakes. And if you want to restart, it's as simple as getting simple green, which is... You get yourself some of this shit. You get a bucket. You pour this into a bucket. You put your models in there. And then you let them soak for 24 hours. And then you scrub them. And then the paint comes right the fuck off. You can restart. Your mistakes are not permanent. I will motivate you. Yeah, but LA doesn't have that Coca-Cola smell. Thankfully, my local Warhammer shop manager gave me about 5 free minis to practice painting on before I started on my combat patrol. And here's something else. Your first model is always going to be your worst. Your first model is always going to be your worst. That is okay. Do not beat yourself up over your model looking like garbage. Of course it's going to look like garbage. You think building a car is easy? Your first attempt building a car, it's going to be a fucking mess. Your first time building a computer, going to be a fucking mess. Your first time drawing a picture, it's going to be fucking awful. But that's fine. No one gets anything instantly. You're always going to make mistakes. And yes, there are some people that are just more accustomed and attuned to it than you are. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit more for one person to learn something else, and very little for someone to learn that same skill. Everyone learns at their own pace. You got this. That's my advice. Ow, my belt is digging into me. Alright, but yeah, your warband could be hailed from everywhere. It could have its own personality traits, own conflicting things. Maybe they believe that maybe they go like full word bear without being a word bear, and they're just like, praise the dark gods! Or maybe they're just like, the Imperium sucks, I'm a pirate now. Yar har, shiver me tea. Being a pirate is alright with me. Maybe they're a Space Marine chapter that believes that, like, you know, hey, working with aliens, not so bad. Fuck you, Imperium. You could have a multitude of reasons. And Chaos Space Marines just recruit from everywhere. They just grab whoever the fuck they want and leave. And like I said, they can hail from anywhere, anyone. They could, like, most Trader Legions are chimeric now anyway. Because it's not that easy to make, as it turns out. Alright. But what about other armies? Because I know, like, a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, Space Marine got me into it, but I'm not into Space Marines. Maybe I'm into, the Sisters of Battle. Or maybe you were like, I thought that Tyranids were cool. So I want to be like, I want to simulate, like, the Tyranids climbing over a wall to get to the Imperial Defenders. I want to do that. Tons of ways to do it. And again, your armies can hail from everywhere. They can be anything you want them to be. They can give in to they have, like, their own preferred tactics, their own backstories, their own characters, their own ways of conducting war, their own ways of interacting with everybody else. You can do whatever you want. We've had Imperial Guard regiments range from literal spear chuckers, like an entire regiment of tribal people just grab from a plant, thrown a starship, handed a spear, and said, kill. We've had regiments of fucking frat boys on horseback. We've had Amazonian women. Just a pure regiment of Amazonian women. Women who will rip the skull off a stupid fucker who gets in their way. We've had orders of the Sisters of Battle. Not that many, sadly, because, like, Sisters of Battle are done many stories to them. But, like, we've had plenty of Sisters of Battle show up with, like, their own beliefs in the Emperor, and that, like, their religious zeal can take forms in many different ways. The Mechanicus, they're not all united. We have a Dark Mechanicum for a reason. We got Explorator fleets and defense forces for Forge Worlds, made up of Skitarii and everything. You can do whatever the hell you want with them. We got Night Worlds, both Loyalist and Traitor. Oh, glad I caught this. Hi, Everqueen. You got Night Worlds, like Loyalist and Traitor. We've had Chaos Night Worlds that were Chaos corrupted even before the Imperium knew what Chaos was. Before they were even found by the Imperium. Which is fucking hilarious. Fucking Imperials show up. And then, like, fucking, the Night House is like, I knew you were coming! And then proceed to fire on them. Yeah, like what Jack said, Imperial Regiment of Devolved Cavemen. What about Leagues of Votann if you're not a fan of Space Marines? Leagues of Votann, like, they gave you enough to make your own army. They're corporate. They're a corporation. They got corporations that they work under. Your entire merchant fleet could be like the nicest merchants you'll ever meet, but dare insult them once, and it's fucking over. Hi, Elena. But yeah, like, you could have an entire League of Votann fleet where it's just like, they go exploring for rocks. They go exploring for all the different meteorites and asteroids. And then, like, they show up to a planet, it's like, hey, you want to sell stuff. But then that planet comes under attack by orcs, and so the people pay them to defend them. And it's just like, okay, you'll pay us in mines, right? And it's just like, yeah! And, like, they could have, like, such garish fucking colors, like purple and, green. They could look like little jokers. I like the idea of an Irish Legion. Then do it! The sky is the limit! You could have an entire Eldar craft world that doesn't believe in having all those war shrines. Because, like, those war shrines are fucking insane. Have you met Jane Czar? She seems happier killing her own kind than killing the enemies of the Eldar. So maybe your entire force has nothing but Falcon Grav tanks, Eldar Guardian squads, all those different biker squads. You could do that. You do not have to be limited down by anything. Your Drukhari Raiders can be one simple household, or a household made up of a Homunculi Coven, a Witch Coven, and a Incubi Coven. You can do whatever you want! I have a chapter of Ancient Gaul-themed Ultramarines. Nice. Druid Space Marines. I will still say it is cool when a Space Marine chapter has a Librarius that is active. The Blood Ravens, what made them cool and interesting was when they combined their chapter master with their chief librarian. I thought that was cool. I still want to see a chapter where its chief apothecary is the chapter master. Now, why don't you do it? Because my chapter's already made and I'm happy with them. But you could do it. Then do it, sorcerer! Endless Orc Hertz called the Summa Camp crumbles. So I've heard theories about Star Trek becoming 40k. What do you think of the idea of Mass Effect? I'm waiting for that. Becoming 40k. Star Trek and Mass Effect? But off topic, what are the storylines within the Dawn of War series considered canon? They are considered canon. They are. And we know that the first game takes place before the Tyranid invasion of Ultramar, and we know that we know that Dawn of War 2 takes place after the events of the first Tyrannic War. That was a random idea of orcs obsessed with pink. Kawaii. But yeah, the Bloodraven storyline within Warhammer 40k, the Dawn of War series, Dawn of War 1, Dawn of War 2, Dawn of War 3, all of those events are canon. So yeah. Events with, like, abilities within the game are dubious canon, like using Cataphracti armor and front flipping. No. That is definitely not canon, that's just gameplay. Like the idea of the series evolving into 40k. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, there's a lot of parts of me where I'm just like, no, don't do that, please. I want Star Trek to be Star Trek. I want Mass Effect to be Mass Effect because they're telling their own stories. 40k is meant, but 40k is so far in the fucking future that anything is true and anything can be canon. And it is said, like, it was a golden age of humanity before the age of strife. So, like, that could mean whatever the fuck that means. So, like, yeah, 40k is that kind of thing where, like, anything can happen. Dawn of War has the single best intro to a game I've ever seen. Yeah. I just had an idea that maybe the LOTD or the Sons Corvus Corax had to kill because they were mutated. LOTD? Hold on, I'm stupid. Help! I'm dumb. What does that mean? Help! Help! I don't know what... I suck with abbreviations. I'm sorry. Love Muffin, help! But yeah, and this is something I want everyone to understand about Warhammer 40k. Especially when it comes to, like, the codexes, the Space Marines that are... Legion of the Damned! Oh my god, I'm an idiot! Okay. It is confirmed that Legion of the Damned are just Space Marine demons. They are just Space Marine demons. It was confirmed. So that's one mystery solved. And and how it was confirmed was during the Rising Storm event. Well, Gathering Storm, not Rising Storm. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Gathering Storm had a small little narrative within it, where Celestine and the Legion of the Damned actually were affected by the warp receding when the Black Pylons were activated on Cadia. Like, the Legion of the Damned just poofed like demons. They just went bye-bye. And Celestine felt extreme pain when the Black Pylons were activated, confirming that she is, in fact, a demon prince of some kind. So, interesting. Oh, I was wondering what you think about the Terminus Decree. Oh, shit. Which one was that again? Terminus Decree. 40k. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Terminus Decree. It's an ancient scripture of instruction written on a simple piece of parchment and locked away within the Chamber of Purity on Titan. Oh, this fucking thing. It's there. It is there. It's a cool piece of lore. Well, cool piece of fluff. I hate calling 40k lore. I hate calling it lore. 40k is fluff, not lore. What would your reset button to give in worst case scenario? Okay, so I don't think 40k ever has to have a universal reset button like Fantasy had to have, or do a Flashpoint Paradox, or a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of a thing. I don't think 40k ever has to do that because it's such a big universe that you can do whatever the hell you want. But if they ever were to, in my humble opinion, I think that it should be a War of the Gods, and that it should be so catastrophic that it resets the universe to 0. But with minor changes here and there. Like, Primaris Marines were always there, kind of a thing. All these units that were always there, they were always there. That kind of thing. Again, I don't think they'll ever do it, because then that would mean resetting all those books back there, including the Horus Heresy, which I remind you, when did the Horus Heresy books start? – 2006. It's closing in on 20 years. It's closing in on 20 years for that storyline. So, like, yeah, I don't... If that's how you're going to do a universal reset, I just want it to be the gods coming in and fucking up everything and setting everything back to square one. And then just, like, the universe is reborn. Like AOS. Unfortunately, I got off drop currently 2 a.m. in UK, but thank you for being accommodating and answering questions. You're welcome. I always try to be as accommodating as possible. Unless you're a dick. Which in that case, I will happily tell you to fuck off if you're a dick. But yeah, Necron's most petty faction or Votann? Oh god, who's the most pettiest faction in 40k? They're all petty in their own little ways. Like, the Orcs and Tyranids are, like, the least petty. They don't go actively seeking revenge for anything. God. Necrons, individuals within it are petty. Like, Oberon and, Orokin. My god, why did I say Oberon? Orokin and Trazyn can be extremely petty. Individuals within the Necrons can be extremely petty. Leagues of Votann, would you call a grudge petty? Being petty? Yeah, no, a grudge can be petty. They have a fucking book. You've been one of my favorite people to follow, and you got me into 40k. Aw. Yay. I'm glad. I want to share this fucking hobby with the rest of the world, dude. It literally, it gave me... It was my rock. 40k. I know, like, that's really sad that, like, a product was, like, my anchor. But, like, it gave me stuff to do on weekends. It gave me something to do at home that wasn't video games. And it let me go socialize and be with people. And I want other people to have that. I want people to have a community like I had. A very supportive and very welcoming community where we all enjoy the stupidest shit. Yeah, 40k can have, like, its awesome moments where, like, Angron is holding a Titan above his head, saving Lorgar. We can have our darkest moments where Fabius Bile has just turned someone into this, like, barbaric, barely thinking dog. Or we can have, like, our hilarious moments where an orc goes back in time, sees himself in his ship over there, and then comes to the conclusion that if he kills himself, he'll have a spare of his favorite gun. We can laugh at that. 40k is like this massive fucking canvas of stupidity, epicness, darkness, and just moments that we can all, like, love, hate, whatever. Honestly, the way you present 40k World just draws me in whenever you're passionate about it. I 40K! I love this stupid fucking world! And satire. Don't forget the satire. Again, funniest fucking satire that GW's done in years. Fucking Tyranid Leviathan Invasion of the Galactic West. Priests and nut jobs screaming out in the streets that the Tyranid invasion isn't real as literal spores drop from the skies. Funniest shit I ever read. And too fucking real, dude. But yeah, like, I know a lot of people are taken for a loop by 40K. It's the One Piece thing. It's the same idea like what One Piece is. 40K is just so big, where the fuck do I start? Kind of a thing. Like, I'm gonna use One Piece as an example here. The reason why most people don't want to get into One Piece is not because they think One Piece is bad. Far from it. It's this. Look at all those fucking manga volumes. We have fucking box sets. They're not saying One Piece is bad. They don't want to read One Piece because they think it's bad. They don't want to read it because holy fuck. That's dedication, dude. I don't got that time. I don't got those resources. Other people are like, money. Perfectly reasonable. Like, go to their website. Show you what it's like in Canadian, dude. Show you what it's like in my dollar. I'll choose Space Marines, because, like, why the fuck not? Most fucking common thing out there. All these fucking prices! 55 for one! 85 for one! 70 bucks for 5! 70 bucks for 10! A book will run you 70 bucks! And then, like, what other army is there? What other armies are there? Like, Xenos. Let's look at, like, Tyranids, because they're going to be in fucking, Space Marine 2. 55 for 5! That's like... Son of a bitch, how much is that per model? I'm bad at math. I'm bad at math, help. I'm sorry, I gotta do math. That's 11 bucks per fucking plastic! Irrelevant. Like, you got 75 for one model. 125 for two. This is also, like, where people bring up the gripes of it's too expensive to get into. But then I'm just like... There is multiple ways to get into 40K. I'm fucking here. Not... eBay. People are selling models, selling armies, whole things for way cheaper than you could buy them. This box here is $200 Canadian. This person's selling it for $172. That's a fucking steal. Yo, $200 for a fucking Mechanicus Force, $173. That's steal. Someone's selling an entire Thousand Suns army. That Magnus model is $200 fucking by himself. You are saving money by doing this. And someone's selling that limited edition Veterans of the Long War Chaos box. It was only sold for Christmas. $215, getting a steal. So on and so forth. You can buy your army secondhand. No shame in that. 3D print your armies. Proxy your shit. You can play 40K how you want to play it. Most people don't care. You think I care? I don't. Also, I am scared of people getting mad at me and having terrible social anxiety. That is a genuine fear to have. That is a genuine fear to have. But if someone is being mean at your local club, being a dick, just walk over to the person that owns the fucking store Or just tell them, like, could you, like, tone it down a bit? I know, like, that's terrible for, like, someone with social anxiety. I get it. I have social anxiety myself. I really get it. I do. But just let somebody know. I know you don't want to be a bother. I know you don't want to be a pain. But this is supposed to be, it's a public space. If someone is making you feel unwelcome in that public space, and you haven't done anything wrong, you have nothing to be afraid of. Let the people know. Let someone know. Someone in authority in that store that someone is making you scared that they're mad at you. You can do that. Most people don't want angry people around them. Because, like, angry people make the store awkward and scary, and that ruins business. You just need to let the store owner know, like, hey, that person's being kind of a dick. If you're at an event, let someone know. Let a TO know. Determine official. That your opponent's being a dick. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are going to be assholes. There's going to be dicks. Dicks are everywhere. Like a maid marine. Yes. There are going to be assholes in life. I'm sorry, like that's just a cruel reality of life. That some people are just going to be massive mongrels. But it's how you choose to handle it is what matters. Do what is best for you and what is safest for you. It is okay to tell somebody that someone is being a dick. And yeah, if that person's response is suck it up, princess, fuck them. If they're allowing that kind of toxic behavior in their store, they're allowing someone to be an asshole, fuck them. They don't deserve that business. I got to hook that Raven Guard. Of course you did. Of course you did. The edgy emo boys? Come on. Most women look at the Raven Guard and go, Hamana. And then there's boring bastards like me. There's boring bastards like me that see this handsome lad and I go, Hamana, Hamana. My boy. I love him. And I'm not even gay. Hey man, I just wanted to tell you I love your content. Thank you! But yeah, like... I want everyone to come into this hobby, know they are welcome, and that, like, the only people that aren't welcome are assholes. We don't want people ruining the fun. Whether it be people saying, like, you can't do that. It's against the lore. The game literally says I can. The books literally say I can. What's your issue? Fuck you. I'm gonna listen to the book. Then I'm gonna listen to some random chuckle fuck. Also, I have seen individuals say they like how I just kind of get straight to the point about the question they have. And you have given me the courage to stand up to the Chud Hammer Bros. Listen, the work, like, it is daunting to get, like, dogpiled by, like, 10 people. It is daunting. Very daunting. And it can feel like you're alone. It really did feel like that when, like, I started going after them. They just dogpiled on me. They did some really creepy, weird, and disturbed shit. But then you sit here and go, really? That's the best you can do? Is Photoshop my head onto stuff? And then you show the world what they did. You show the name of that person, not like their actual real name. But you show them those fucked up content creators. You show them those people. And guess what, guys? Guess what, guys? Most people are not weird. Most people are understanding. Chudhammer is the screeching minority here. They're the screechers. And the more we show how messed up and weird they are and call it out, the more people see that's not Warhammer. More people see that's not who we are. The more we call it out, the more we drag it into the light, the more people will see that's not what Warhammer is. That's just the freaks and the weirdos trying to, leech onto another property, leech onto another fandom to try and ruin it for everyone else. That's all that is. And they're pathetic. They're sad. That's all they are. They only hang out on Twitter and like Reddit. And then even then they get banned off of those two places too. Like, and then when you go down to actual hobby spaces, yes, there are some stores that are just crawling with those freaks. They smell bad, they're just gross. But most stores, especially the official GW ones, are ran by good people or people that just want to play the fucking game. Not everyone, and it's something like I had to teach myself as well. Because, like, again, got dogpiled. I got very paranoid for like a little bit. I have to ask, do you have a favorite Primarch and why is it up first? It's Gullyman. I find the Alpha Legion memes to be boring. But yeah, most of these communities are fun and loving, and they enjoy having new people. Because a hobby literally can't survive if it doesn't bring in new blood. It literally cannot survive. And for someone like me who's autistic, who was isolated and felt ostracized by my school, by the groups at school, Warhammer was my way of finally getting a place where I felt like I could be me and I could enjoy something that I genuinely love. And I want more people to have that. And I have to remember that, like, not everyone's online 24/7. Everyone's got to remember that. You are not online 24/7. You are not going to know everything that fucking happened. Even I don't know everything that's fucking happening. I work. This is where I work. I work at this computer 24/7. And I don't see everything. So, like, when people say, like, oh, yeah, I follow Arch, I have to tell them, you might want to stop. I have to remember that. That, like, not everyone has seen what Arch has done. Because, guess what? They watch his lore video, they fuck off after that. They don't do anything else. They don't interact, they don't do anything else. They just see the video, watch it, and then go on with their day. That doesn't say anything about their character. It's just like, oh, this thing I'm interested in. That doesn't make him a bad person. They didn't fucking know. It's not guilt by association. What makes them a bad person that they see all that and either deflect or say, okay, and. That's what makes them a bad person. But if someone see, like, I have genuinely had, like, 15 people over the past, like, day and a half where they're like, Jesus Christ, that's what he did? Holy crap! I am so sorry. And I'm like, you don't need to apologize. You didn't know. Again, most people don't see this shit. So, like, you gotta be, I have to be aware, and everyone else has to be aware. But, but yeah, so something else that someone pointed out to me is that they like how I explain the fluff of 40K. And genuinely, one of the things that does frustrate me about fluff channels on YouTube, and this is just like tons of them, and this isn't just like limited down to one, it's lots of them, especially like West Ham. And no, this does not say anything about their quality. This is just something that I've noticed and a lot of other people have noticed. There is a long distance between the start of the video and getting to the fucking point. Most people, when they have a question, there's a lot of fluff in between now and the fucking point. And I know, like, a few content creators believe, like, oh, I have to give context to it. I have to let people know what's going on and why this is happening, and that's perfectly fine. But not everyone is here for that. Sometimes they just want the answer to their question. Why is A acting like B? And that is what I want to do for most people. I want to give those simple, straightforward answers. Because at the end of the day, that's just what it is. What is this event? This event is this, it happened because of this, and this was the fallout of it. Done. You don't need to tell a 50-minute video for the Siege of Rax. Siege of Rax, summed up real quick, is a priest basically wanted to launch a crusade, ended up falling to chaos along with the entire force that he thought he was crusading with, and then this, then the Death Corps of Krieg came in along with the Inquisition and Grey Knights and a few other Space Marine chapters, and essentially it turned out to be one massive loss for the Imperium. That is it. But there are other people who are interested in the details. And those people love those big fluff channels, like I do. But most people just want to know, what the fuck is it, so that way I understand what the fuck my friend is talking about. So that way, like, I have the context. Or, like, I know the name. Perfectly fine. What is the bare necessity of understanding that I need to know what these guys are about? Or just like, what the fuck is this, and why should I care? And I want to be able to cater to those people. Because guess what? Everyone's 40K journey starts somewhere. Your 40K journey starts somewhere, and... Hi, Everqueen. Kitten rescued. Nice. What's your favorite? Wait, your favorite is the accounting blueberries? I like my Ultramarines. I like them, okay? I used to hate them, but then, like, Dark Imperium and Gathering Storm happened. Gulliman came back. I read No Fear. I love them. They're great. They're fun. I genuinely like the Ultramarines. Not even for the Roman aesthetic. I actually don't like the Roman aesthetic for them. I just like them personality-wise. And just having Gulliman... Cato? Oh, I love Cato now. Oh my god. Cato Sicarius, his personality did like a massive 180, and I love it. I love what they did with Cato. Basically, Dark Imperium book, Gathering Storm, Cato Sicarius got lost in the warp for like a year, and in the warp, he watched all of his brothers die. He prayed to the Emperor never came. Man became a full-on atheist in a year. He's still, like, is loyal to Gulliman, he's still loyal to the Imperium, but he's a full-on fucking atheist, and he's got, like, this depression beard. It's great. A priest is like, ah, yes, your brothers are with the Emperor now, and he just snaps his neck like a fucking owl to that priest, and he's like, listen here, you little bitch, and, like, proceeds to grill this fucking priest for, like, an hour. It's amazing. I love Cato now. I am fully on board with Cato fucking Sicarius. Ah, it's great. I want a new model of him with the depression beard. Give me depressed Cato. They damaged him, and I love damaged goods. It is hilarious. Because when most people think Cato Sicarius, they're thinking like the Emperor's text-to-speech device or all the other fluff where it's like, oh, I'm Cato Sicarius. I am the greatest swordsman in the Ultramarines. I am the hero of them. And now it's, hey, I'm Cato. Life fucking sucks, dude. Now I'm gonna go stab that fucking traitor Space Marine over there because he killed my best friend. Get over here, you stupid fuck! What Primarch should come next? I really want Jagatai, because I think Jagatai will be very fun and interesting to have. It's probably going to be Leman, though. If they do bring another Loyalist back. But that's for Loyalists. If it's traitors, I want a Thulgrim. I want Thulgrim. Vulcan is the Primarch I want so badly. Yeah, well, maybe he shouldn't have fallen into a reactor with a giant orc. Maybe. Possibly. You know. I want Corvus. Do you know what happened to Corvus there, Everqueen? Do you know what happened to him? Do you know what's going on with Corvus motherfucking Corax right now? Raven boy? The little Raven man? You Cerberus and other people fighting Chudhammer has my full respect to stop these monsters. It's literally not that hard. They, like, the funniest fucking thing you can do is just call them weird. And then, like, Chudhammer literally shits themselves and doesn't know how to respond. Because, like, they only have, like, 3 responses, and that's, like, woke, liberal, whatever the fuck, insult. What happened? Oh, Everqueen, you're gonna love this. Okay, so, Corvus Corax. He leaves his legion, nevermore, fucks off into the warp to hunt down the traitor Primarchs. And then everyone's like, oh, well, he's probably fucking dead. No, he's not. We get a short story where Lorgar is meditating in his personal chamber on the homeworld of Wordbearers inside the warp. The candles go out. He's going, that's weird, I haven't summoned a demon yet. And then all he hears is Corax's voice. And it turns out Corax has been stuck in the warp for a while, and he turned into a full-on shadow demon. The motherfucker is literally a shadow. With claws! And the funniest thing is that, like, Lorgar's like, ha, you can't hurt me. One swipe. Why did that hurt? Oh, buddy, we're in the warp. I kill you here. You're not coming back. And then Lorgar flees the room as Corax is chasing him. And eventually, like, Lorgar is able to get away from him. But, like, motherfucker is putting the fear of God into the Lorgar. He's putting the fear of fucking God into him. He put, like, fucking Corax went fucking Crow and Spawn on goddamn Lorgar, and it was one of the funniest fucking things to happen. It is amazing. We know what he's doing. Would you call him an Imperial Demon? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I would. And it's funny. Man, Jagatai, what are you doing? Traveling around the Webway and Komarug. Lehman, what are you doing? Searching for a thing. Fuck off. Corax, what are you doing? Hunting down those filthy traitors with my shadow claws. The edgiest motherfucker got more edgy, and it made it even funnier. Legends say he remains in Lorgar's walls. He's in the goddamn walls, Erebus! Oh, God, it's so fucking great, dude. I love them all. They're all so stupid. But they make me so happy. Oh, my God, So fucking funny. Yeah, it's in a book called Sons of the Emperor. It's a short story called Shadow of the Past. Dark Apostle Kaltar seeks to raise a religious monument to gain his Primarch's favor, but when warriors of the Legion begin to die in suspicious circumstances, he learns something has come hunting. Its prey is not the legionary slaughtered by its hands, but the one who they call Father, Demon Primarch Lorgar, written by Gav Thorpe. It's great. It's great. You should read it. When you get the time, find that book and read it. It's fucking great. Ghazghkull having Vulcan as a new rival would make him look more on par with other leader characters. It would, and I'd be interested. But yeah, Ferris and Omegon are some angry world just watching everything go to shit. Omegon is dead. So it was revealed in the Alpha Legion Primarch book that Alpharius and Omegon, when they met, they swapped names. They swapped names. So Alpharius became Omegon, Omegon became Alpharius. And it was Omegon that died on Pluto, and it was Alpharius that was the survivor. Prove it. Where the fuck is it? You have to read the Alpha Legion book. You have to read the Alpharius book. They literally do it in that book. Because, like, I can't find any book. I can't find spoilers for you. But it is Alpharius, Head of the Hydra, by Mike Brooks. It also, by the way, Alpharius based. He saves a couple. He saves a lesbian couple and their daughter, and then recruits them into the Alpha Legion. And one of them becomes head of his ship, the other one becomes his communications officer, and the daughter is being trained to be one of their agents. Based Alpharius, LGBTQIA plus positive Alpharius. Based. Give this man head pats. Except don't, because he's very dangerous. It's also in this book that it's revealed that the Blood Games were started by Alpharius. It is actually said in this book that it was started by him, because the opening of the book is him infiltrating the palace, and it's Malkador that sees him because he can literally sense him and gives him an aneurysm. And then Malkador walks up to him and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Alpharius says, "Your defenses were wide open. The Emperor could have been assassinated like 16 times." And the Custodes were mortified by that fact. And that's why the Blood Games started. And it turns out that Alpharius was not scattered to the winds. He was the only Primarch that wasn't. He was the one that was raised in secret by the Emperor. He was there for all of the Primarchs. He was the one that understood the Emperor the best. So yeah, that's Alpharius. This book basically tells you everything you need to know. And it's great. Also, Alpharius also killed a Custodes. Yes, everyone's killed a Custodes. It's not that much of an accomplishment at that point. Open to being wrong, but weren't the Custodes meant to counter the Primarchs? No. No. With a massive asterisk beside it. Basically, Custodes were just meant to be the bodyguards of the Emperor. They were like the elite of the elite. They were his military, like his personal bodyguard and personal military to send out whenever he wanted. Could a Custodes kill a Primarch? Well, Trizon Valoris certainly could make a Primarch run for his money. But yeah, like Custodes, the Custodes were trained to kill the Marines. It is pointed out in several of the books, Burning of Prospero, First Heretic, so on and so forth, that the Custodes, they were really good at killing Space Marines. They were really good. And it is revealed in a short story, I think it was like the first Siege of Terra book, or Defenders of Terror, whatever the fuck it was. Which anthology was that? Horus Heresy books. Horus Heresy series. Heralds of the Siege. I think it was revealed in there. When Malcador is talking to a aide, like one of his old aides who's dying. Hi, Everqueen. I'll be ending stream soon anyway. That this was the plan, that they were going to wipe out all the legions. Hi, Knight. But Horus Heresy played out, and it was basically like, well, shit. But the plan was that, like, once they got the Webway portal, like, once they got the gateway on Earth, the Webway ready to go, the Emperor was going to send his custodians out to each of the Primarch's homeworlds, wipe out the legions from there, and then just quietly put his sons in rooms that they feel at home at. And just kind of leave them there. Magnus, on the other hand, he was going to get stuck on that fucking throne whether he liked it or not. I mean, the Thunder Warriors were great practice. Hey! Those Thunder Warriors died in the final glorious battle on Mount Ararat. Custodes were only there in a supervising capacity. Yes, I know they had perfectly fine weapons that could kill the Thunder Warriors, but they didn't do it. You got no proof. Inquisition right there. Wait, what? Yeah, that was the plan. Because remember, the Space Marines were also a rush job. And the Emperor, as the Emperor's wife would put it, in the book Saturnine, where she's introduced, the Emperor wanted the Primarchs to be nothing but, like, extensions of his military will. And he wanted them to be mindless, no better than mindless automata made flesh. And that horrified their mother. So she scattered them to the winds. And you know how that turned out. You know how that ended. Very poorly. I hate the character limits here. I know I do too. Question: the Space Sharks served in the Death Watch? Yep. They have had plenty of Marines go to the Death Watch. They are always regarded as, like, quiet but murderous motherfuckers. Like, they are scary. Some of the Primarchs were meant to help run the Imperium once the Great Crusade was over. That is a theory, but it's also a theory that, like, the Emperor was just going to imprison them. Because in Deliverance Lost, Corax is separated from his legion while he's waiting to talk to the Emperor, and he's brought into a room where he feels like it disturbingly feels like home. Like that's something. And then it's heavily hinted at more that like the Primarchs were going to just be like either killed off in the case of like Angron and Conrad, and that some might be kept around for other duties, like Guilliman being a statesman, Dorn being a builder, that kind of thing. Hinted at, but never stated. And then Malcador basically says, like, nah, the plan is to kill him. Again, most people don't know that, because then you gotta fucking, you gotta read all the Horus Heresy books, including a bunch of anthologies. That range in quality drastically. But yeah, Jesus Christ, I've been going for 2 hours on a Monday. Christ. Been having a lot of fun. Okay, but, this is the end of the stream. TikTok, please, if you can, if you are on TikTok, please, go sub to my YouTube, go sub to my Twitch. I will be streaming Space Marine 2 this Thursday. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. But also, it helps keep me alive, because I actually make money on those other platforms. And if I have money, I can buy food, and if I have food, I can eat, and if I eat, I have energy to make more videos for you guys. So yeah, please, for love of God, if you can, and if you want to watch videos early before they come out on YouTube, you can go subscribe to my Twitch. It's only $5 a month. But if that's too much for you, do not worry. Your viewership is perfect. Your subscribes are perfect. But yeah, I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope this helped you know how to build your own army and answer tons of different questions that you guys had. But I will see you all on Wednesday, where we're preparing for Space Marine 2 by playing Space Marine 1 again. Yay! Good night, everybody! How do you feel about the Chaos PvP being specifically locked? I don't know. Anyway, good night, everybody!